and welcome back to Vision Banter, where we explore conversations around business, leadership, and the journeys behind the people building things today. Now, when we talk about businesses or startups, we often focus on the ideas, the strategies, or the growth. But you know what? Behind every successful organization, there's always something much more important, and that's the people working in that organization. So, today's conversation is all about the human side of the business, how teams are built, how leaders manage people, and what it actually takes to work in people focused roles. And to talk about this, I'm really excited to welcome Avya Khurana. Avya has spent over 2 years working in HR roles across different organizations where she has led teams, worked on projects, hosted events, and developed strong skills in people management and communication. She's also the founder of an initiative which is called Healing Up, and it focuses on creating a supportive platform and meaningful impact. So, Avya, welcome to Biz and Banter. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Hazel. It's my pleasure to be over here.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions to ask from you and to gain insights from you. So the first question would be that I would love to start with Healing Up. So what inspired you to start Healing Up, and like how did you turn the ideas of creating a supportive platform into a real initiative?
So, if we see our society currently, we see that mental health is still a taboo. I personally faced a bit of mental health issues where, even after having very supportive parents, I was not able to talk about my own problems or what I was facing at that time. So, from that thing, I got an idea to start a space where teenagers personally can go and talk about their feelings, understand about mental health, and we can have mental health awareness because at a point when we go outside, even when we are with our friends, if ever we come up with the point that I'm not feeling well mentally, we don't get a very positive response. Either people just like leave us, or they kind of make us feel a bit different. So which is the thing which inspired me to start healing up on my own.
That's a really great initiative. And I would say that, if I talk about Gen Z, right? So this is the first generation to actually talk about emotions, about feelings, and, about mental health. So it's really a great initiative from your side. And I'm really like very sure that everyone who's going to listen about that after, our podcast. So it's going to be a really good inspiration to them. And kudos to you because building something from scratch is never easy.
Thank you
So,
so much.
yeah. So, moving on, what was one challenge you faced while starting, healing up, and like, how did you navigate that?
So one of the major challenge I faced while starting Healing Up was choosing right people for the team. Because at a time we get a lot of type of people. People who have skills, people who are working in different domains. They're nice also, they're bad also. So the main problem, even after being in the field of HR, I faced was the choosing right people for the field of mental health and opening an organization in that. Because in normal companies we can choose people through talent acquisition or just seeing their skill set and on the basis of the requirements we need. But talking about specifically mental health or in healing up, I try to find people who are interested in talking, they're interested in sharing things, and they have that sympathy and empathy inside them. Because in mental health organizations, if inside only we don't have that good environment or nurturing environment, we would not be able to give it to the other people who are coming in our webinars, or maybe the people who are attending our personal sessions. So the main problem I faced was about choosing the right people, and how I navigated that was through understanding what my organization really needed. Like my organization personally required the type of people who are interested in sharing stories, who are interested in talking about things openly, and who are interested in sharing and empowering others.
That is Amazing, because it's really very true that you don't really get to find people who are actually going to contribute to your organization. So yeah, it's really a challenge, and the way you navigated it was great. Okay. So, now that you've spent over 2 years working in HR roles, which means like you work closely with teams and people and lots of people because you've been into the experience for 2 years. So, from your experience, what have been your biggest leadership about managing people and building strong teams? Because,
So my
yeah. So many people think that HR is just about hiring, but walk us through like, what have you been your biggest leaderships?
So my biggest leaderships through HR were about understanding how HR works, because as you said that mostly people think that HR is just about hiring. There are certain domains in HR which people don't explore at a point. I have worked with people of my same age, of like age above mine, and very elders as well. I started with a very small journey from Adore Earth, and when I started, I was also being a small freelancer who just thinks that HR is just about hiring. But beyond my age, I learned one thing, that leadership is not just about team management; it's also about the team culture. So my biggest leadership was about building a team culture in which we are not just understanding the main above part or the upper layer of a domain, we are also understanding it from the depth, and we are also understanding the human part of the department, because HR is all about human resources, how we utilize our human resource in a way that it help our organization to be in a better place.
Okay, that is, an amazing, leadership role, and you may say, gaining insights from people and learning from your experience. So it's really amazing. Also, from your perspective, what role does HR actually play in shaping team culture and workplace dynamics? Because, as I said before as well, that people think that HR is just about hiring. So, what do you think is the actual role in HR plays?
So, HR plays a very important role in building work culture, because if we see an organization from scratch, like I personally built an organization from scratch. So, one thing I got to understand is HR is not just like a side department that if it don't work, everything would go smoothly. It's the main department which also handles the other department at the same point. It is the building block of an organization, I would say, and building working dynamics and like work culture through HR is like the main thing. And can you repeat your question from your perspective?
Yeah, so it was that your biggest learnings, about the HR role, that what it actually does, and the workplace dynamics as well. So you gave a very perfect answer to this. That like it's a very vast department, because it stands as the backbone of the organization, right?
Yeah. I also feel like HR also sets the tone of an organization, because if in your organization HR is not active, they are like just taking their work on hayway, the company would go inactive at the same point. They set company values as well. They define other roles, the code of conducts, and how the organization really works depend on how strong your HR team is. And at the same point, as HR is about hiring, if we don't hire the right people, the work dynamic would go down automatically, because HR hires the right people, and that's something which is very important, and it defines our work culture and our whole organization as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really great takeaway to whosoever is going to listen to this podcast, and whosoever is going to be in the field of their HR, because you started at a very early age, right? So because you're still in 11th and it's been 2 years already, so it's really great, because young people, the students, the teenagers, it's a really a great takeaway for all of them. Okay, so moving on, you have also worked in business development and outreach roles, which involves connecting with people and growing communities, getting in touch with people. So, what strategies helped you build meaningful connections and grow networks through outreach?
So, if I talk about strategies to make great connections, like we are a connection, we reached out to each other and we had a conversation. These are also a type of connections which we build in between of internships, in between of work we are doing. I would say to make meaningful connections, it's better to know the person you are connecting with. It's better to understand what they are working on because from everyone we learn something new. If you are working on something, I would learn something new from you, you might learn something new from me. So in that way, I would say firstly we should know the person we are connecting with. Second, I would say we should personalize things for them. Like whenever we reach out to someone, we always use same kind of messages that hi, how are you. Maybe we should personalize messages on professional platforms like LinkedIn. We should understand their profile and message them according to that. Like this is a thing which I did with a lot of founders, and in the organization I worked internationally. So there I used to personalize the message according to the founder's profile, and it helped me connect with them in a better way. Because obviously from a long list of message of normal way, a few messages which would have the personalization or the thing they want to read, actually they would connect with those people. And second, I would say is we should not forget our values while connecting with people, because sometimes we get into bad influence as well, I would say. Being if someone of my age or your age is listening to me, we should have our stand or our point in the time, because at some time we just forget our values and we just start making bad connections which would eventually lead to like degradation in the internet or on like Google and all those things.
Yes, that's a really insightful, answer to this question, and it's a good advice for everyone who's listening to this podcast that you should choose, whom to talk to, because there are a lot of people out there, right? And choosing the right person for you is very important because you want to connect with people who are going to make you grow, right? Who are going to, who have a growth mindset. So it's really important to connect with the right people.
Because what we have seen on LinkedIn right now is you might have seen a lot of girls getting bullied, a lot of people being trolled or something like that, which was thing of Instagram recently, but it's coming on LinkedIn as well because of the same audience kind of people.
Yeah.
So we should understand with the type of people we are connecting, and we should have that active listening to understand their perspective. Because at a point, if we are connecting with someone with our honest values, with our honest work policy and everything, but we are not listening to them for the thing which we went there, so there's no point of connecting with that person.
Yeah. That's amazing, Avya. It's really a very like a very insightful thought. Okay, so it was great talking about this. Like this, you gave a very good answer to this. So you have also worked with multiple teams and a leadership role. You've taken a lot of leadership roles as well. So what leadership lessons have shaped the way you manage responsibilities and you collaborate with teams today? Because all of this eventually is gonna lead to it's gonna be a part of HR department itself because you're connecting with people, right? So would you want to walk us through that?
So, if I say about the leadership lessons I understood, like while managing responsibilities and collaborating with teams and others, I would say we should understand that leadership is not just about, authority. It's about a responsibility which you are getting after being trusted. So, I personally wanted to have a good position in my council in school, but I did not get it due to some other dynamics. At a point, I understood that leadership is not just a thing about showing off your power or showing off the, that. I got this thing. Now I am the main character. It's about having that responsibility and using that quality to build something meaningful. I would say in leadership, we should understand about people first and the task which we get at the second place. Because if you don't know your team, whom are you gonna, put the authority or put the responsibility on? Because at a point I have seen this thing in a lot of people I have worked with, that they just focus on the task, they just want to get the task completed. They don't focus on the people, what actually people have. Sometimes the people we are working with have much better idea for our team than the ideas we are thinking. So we should understand that people should be at the first place when we talk about leadership, HR, or anything. Because different mindsets, different goals, but there would be a better conclusion when we have more discussions. And then, from the point of communication, I feel like we should have clear communication with different people, and we should have clear communication with the team to solve the problems. In leadership, it's very important, because or else you would get confused, because there are a lot of ideas, as I said, a lot of minds. So we would get confused if we don't have a clear communication and people are just keeping everything to their minds. And we should balance the delegation of task, and we should balance the responsibility. And I would say this thing to leaders, that you should understand and adapt the style in different teams with different people. Because if there would be different people in your team, not everyone is going to stay forever. You should understand to adapt according to them as well. And for the interns and the people who are working on the starting roles right now, you should also try to adapt and set between a middle ground in both of that. Because or else you would be having fights and all those, which would waste a lot of time during projects.
Yes, exactly. Because, understanding the team is very important to avoid conflicts within the organization. So, yeah. And was there ever a moment where leading a team really challenged you? And, what did you learn from it?
Yes, there were a lot of moments where leading a team, really kind of made me frustrated. Because um, I think this would be something which you can also resonate with me, that being the youngest in the room is not always a advantage. Sometimes it's the biggest disadvantage, because people don't take you seriously. They feel like क्या ही कर लेगी ये, कितने की
Yeah.
complaint कर लेगी ये. So I feel like I was working in a few organizations, I would not name them, and I was like, the people working under me were elder than me, and they felt like कितनी complaint कर लेगी, कितना ही जाके बोल देगी, या वो सब कुछ. So I think being the youngest in the room is also a very big disadvantage, because you're not being taken seriously. And one thing I learned and how I navigated it is that you should know how to keep your point. You should know that your responsibility is more than showing off the power, and it is important than being in that sadness that why they are saying me this or why they are saying me that. And this was something which I faced a lot, and I think you might have also faced it because of being
Yes.
a very young person. So yes, this I would say was really challenging. And I learned that sometime, not today, but maybe even in my professional career after my college and everything, if I go into a team where people are having the same idea, I have to work there, because that would be a totally different professional set of environment. So the thing I learned was that you should know how to put your voice and how to use that in a very powerful way.
That's amazing. And the the point that you're telling, that being the youngest in the room is not a, piece of cake. You need to get through a lot of challenges. But I would just suggest that if you were the youngest in the room, just don't think about this, that you're the youngest one, and you need to, like, just prove yourselves to everyone, that that if you're thinking that I'm the youngest one in the room, I have better capabilities than you. I can manage things in a different way, in a better way. And I would say that if you have such a mindset, then being the youngest one would not bring you challenges. But of course, even I have faced those challenges in my life. And given that you're also at a very young age, it's with everyone, right? But within the passage by the passage of time, you get to know this thing, that just ignore all of this and just focus on your work, right?
Yes, because at a point you would get frustrated and you would not be able to complete that project. And
Yeah.
I would also suggest one thing, like you said, that don't focus on being the youngest. Absolutely don't focus on that, because it's gonna make you only frustrated. And we say this thing, right? That if someone is irritating you, they want your reaction. So it's the same thing which applies over here as well.
Amazing. That's a great takeaway. Okay, so alongside your professional roles, you also run a creative venture, right? So, do you think that creativity actually plays a role in entrepreneurship or, personal branding today?
I think it do play a great role. Like I used to run a venture for calligraphy at the point where AI was not there.
Okay.
So currently, like you said, that do you think that it plays an important role in entrepreneurship? I think absolutely, because everyone is having ChatGPT, Claude, AI, Gemini, Meta, and everything. The prompts at a point would be same, and the answers at a point, the ideas at a point would be the same. So to run an organization, or maybe in leadership as well, your mind of creativity is very different from the type of creativity you would find on AI. So AI can replace a lot of things, but it cannot replace a human mind in a set of way of creativity and beyond what a human mind can think. This is what my perspective is on this, and I feel like yes, creativity do help a lot in entrepreneurship, because while I was running my own organization, if I would have just go and ask ChatGPT, what should I do for mental health, at a point there would be a lot of 100 people who are going to search the same thing, they're going to start the same thing, they're going to work on the same thing, and we are going to clash in between. Although we should not take them as a competition, but at the same point we should understand that the way you are going to think and you're going to present it to the other human, AI cannot, and AI cannot come and replace something which was all made from heart and all made from love.
Yeah,
So that's why
exactly.
we run NGOs and we run non-profits, because we want to show some love to the other person. And you cannot go to ChatGPT and say like, please say me I love you, and then you
Yeah,
would have that feeling. So
exactly.
creativity do helps a lot in expression of art and in expression of your thoughts. And I think it also helps a lot in expression of leadership in HR, if I say personally, because we are focused on HR in this podcast. When we come about in team culture, in having team activities, creativity helps a lot in making ideas and generating things related to it.
Exactly. That's really that's a really good correlation of HR with creativity, because they are interdependent on each other. And about the AI thing, I would definitely agree with you, because AI cannot actually replace what a human creativity is, and you can use AI to enhance your creativity, but not just rely on it to do all the tasks, right? It's just so complicated if you get it done, if you get everything done, so there's no point left of you being, or you exploring your talent. So yeah, creativity really helps in HR managing. It's a great answer. Okay,
Thank you so much.
so all right, Avya, so before wrapping up, let's do a quick rapid fire round. Are you excited for it?
For sure. Yes, I am.
Okay, so my first question is that if you had to build a team from scratch, what's the first quality you would look for in a person?
Communication skills.
Amazing. That's a really good answer. Okay, and one workplace habit that instantly makes someone a great team member.
saying thank you, I would say.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Like being grateful is a very good habit, and it actually helps you build new connections, right? Okay,
I
so
would just, if you don't mind, I would just add one thing. I was working somewhere, and there used to be someone I was working with, one of my colleagues. She used to have this thing. She used to say thank you on everything, and one of our seniors appreciated it because the learning we get from saying thank you is that the other person remembers you. That, oh, that person said thank you to me, and I gained this habit. And whenever I'm just buying something, I'm shopping something or anything, I got this habit from HR that you should just say thank you because the other person remembers you.
yeah, exactly. That's great. Okay, so HR, any myth which is related to HR or any stereotype that you would love to break?
I think I might do not resonate with a lot of people, but uh, I would say, like, I would say two myths. One is that AI might replace HR, and second is HR does not pay a lot.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Okay, so it's a myth that HR does not pay a lot, right?
Yes, it's a myth.
So it does pay a lot.
Like, according to me, what I have experienced, I think it does pay a lot, but it depends on the type of company you're working with.
Yeah, exactly. And also on the roles that you're doing. And if you're getting everything done
Yes,
from AI, of course, you're not going to get paid.
yes.
Okay. Okay, so we have another question, which is if you could give one sentence of advice to someone who wants to become someone, in the HR role, what would it be?
Just interact with everyone, I would say. At a point, people really don't want to talk to you, but just go and talk with them and just irritate them because in the end you are going to learn something. Let them think whatever they want to, because the more you interact with people, the more you learn. Like, if I say from my personal experience, I went to YCP IIM Ranchi this year, and there were many people who knew me without knew them, because I had that thing to tell everyone that what's going on. And I had my maths exam, and everyone come there and was like, "Oh, you had your math exam. You're aware, right? You had your math exam." So I would say just interact with everyone at a point. Let them think whatever they want to, because everyone is going to think about you at a point.
Exactly. That's great. Okay. So, the last question of this rapid fire round is one word that describes what strong leadership really means to you.
Okay, that's a tough one.
Should I give you options or something like that?
Maybe yes, you should give me options for this one.
Okay, so if I repeat the question, it is that any word that describes what strong leadership is to you. So is it communication? Is it responsibility? Is it being authoritative? Or yeah, I'm out of options. That's all I can give.
I think the word I'm gonna say will not resonate with this answer, but you said one word which explains leadership to me, right?
Yeah, which means the
I think
most
the
to you. Yeah.
I think the people
Okay.
working with you.
All right, that's great because leadership, a person cannot just be a leader without people support. So it's really nice one. Okay, you took an option out of the options, right? That's amazing.
Yeah.
So okay, so Avya, this was such an insightful conversation. It was really very interesting exploring the human side of business and leadership, especially the rapid fire round, because you gave a lot of takeaways, which anyone who's going to listen to this podcast can, implement in their lives. So, everyone who's listening, thank you for tuning in and stay curious, keep building, and we'll see you in the next episode.